Hello, this is Len Lindsay. I'm going to be showing you a big box of Puerto Rico 1897 special edition from Awaken Realms. I'm rolling it, I think, save yourself from going to the hospital. They're very heavy. I roll it here and we're going to try to get it all the way over to that table, and we're going to compare it with two other editions of Puerto Rico. Let me see how I can do this without. It's heavy. Okay, we're going to do it. We made it. Okay, and as we're getting started, I got a table that's down a little bit so that I got room for all this stuff. I'm going to show you, the Awaken Realms also had something that says special edition on this box, but this is actually their standard edition, which is like the entry level of all their levels when they brought this game out. This is the top of the line level. This is the entry level, and people can choose things in between. So that's going to be something I'm going to be comparing it to. These, we're just lifting it up. San Juan is a card game based on the game Puerto Rico. It's included with the big, humongous everything edition. It's not included with the standard edition. So I've got that to look at if we want to compare that. And the original one from decades ago, Puerto Rico, and then they changed the name after a while to Puerto Rico 1897. So that's still what this one adapted, Puerto Rico 1897 as the name of the game. But we can just start by looking originally when it came out. Of course, you got a rule book. What I did is I went with a lot of people who have these games will go to Etsy or eBay and buy stuff to make the game look nicer or more fancy or whatever. And there's places for boats in the game, and I bought someone who was they make these with their 3D printer. They made some boats that I got. I got a little treasure chest because there's money involved, and I bought some metal coins for it. It's supposed to have metal coins in here. It's supposed to be three-dimensional boats in here. So we're going to be getting a game that I didn't have to go and get anything extra. Then someone made these little cases where I could put all my little workers. And when I say little workers, I mean little workers. This is a little worker. Can you see it? Okay, if you can't, it's little. It's a little guy. Those are your little workers that they go and work on your plantations. Plantations in 1897 did not run themselves. So I've got more of these cases in here with different kinds of workers, different kinds of goods. I also paid to get a little trading house where I could put the goods when I'm selling it at the trading house. So I kind of upgraded my old version. So you'll be able to see how Awaken Realms did their upgrade of the game, which obviously is way better once we open this. This has not been opened yet. And I've also got the tiles in here if you want to see a comparison of tiles. And upgraded some of the pieces, and this is the bag of the original. So the original boats looked like this. They were kind of like a cardboard boat. And that's where I paid to get Etsy to make me nicer boats to put your little people in, when your goods in when you're selling them. Okay, so that's kind of looking back. We can do this here for the original Puerto Rico. If I want to, maybe I'll take a look at it. Then the other one, this is the standard edition that just came out from Awaken Realms. These are I condensed the instructions to one page, and it's available on Board Game Geek if you like a one-page rule set for a 3 to 5 player game and for a 2-player game. I got additions of my summaries. So in the standard edition, you got this rule book. So you can see this is the rule book, which I condensed into one page, which I think is handy because trying to look things up quick, this is a lot. But it does go through all the buildings and what the buildings do and what each of the roles do. It has the reference cards. They're very nice reference cards. We'll probably see exactly the same ones in here. The rule book should be the same in the big box. All those should be the same in that big box. And the standard edition, for just being a standard edition, it is quite a deluxe edition. You can tell there's spots indented here where you can place things and they won't shift around. There's places for your buildings and places for your plantations. They're called estates. Places for putting your money and your goods and your victory points. And a place to put a photo of who your player is. That's just their touch. Nothing on the back. Just enough for 5 people. It's a 5-person game. And the standard edition did have very nice trays, and these are cardboard tiles. This one is supposed to come with acrylic tiles, so they'll be a little bit nicer, more shiny. But I'm guessing the artwork itself will probably be the same. It'll just be a nicer acrylic. And it should have the same kind of a tray that when you take this out of the box, it's ready to play the game. Everything's already set up. Which means when you're done with the game, that's when you have to spend a little bit of extra time getting everything back in the right spots. And then the rest of the box, will probably see things in there too. Here's the pictures you put on for when you're a player, well, who you are. I don't know why they needed that, but it was their Awaken Realms touch. So these boards, every player can have their guy, and if you flip it over, it can be a man or a woman, so that you can choose which one you'd like to be, and it has no bearing whatsoever on how the game plays. The standard edition came with the rolls and cardboard tiles. We'll see if they're acrylic or not. They might not be. It comes with inside of a bag that you draw things from. The standard edition had, these are cardboard tiles. And so like here it says Sugar Quarry. They did a very nice job. They made them slightly rounded on the side, and these places where you insert them, they fit right there, so you can see how it stays there, and there's a little slot underneath that lets you take it out rather easily. That's, I think, one thing when you're making deluxe games like that, these little touches are very important. So that was very nice. When you put this in it, you just pull it right back out. So these stay in the bag because you're supposed to draw them out at random, so you can just keep them in this bag. Now, the standard edition from Awaken Realms, we'll see how it's much improved here. It has little round discs, and these are your workers. So the fancy version is going to actually have little miniature models for your workers. This one, we'll see if it changes. It might be the same in that one. These are wood. They're wooden. This is like 5 victory points. They're like, you try to get victory points in the game. So that'll be interesting to see how they do that. We'll see when we open it. I'm going to make sure to keep covers on this stuff. And then the standard edition has cardboard boats. The big fancy box is going to have 3-dimensional plastic boats. So these will be, oh, I left 2 out. You don't want to leave 2 out. And it's got the first player marker and the little private boats, also cardboard. These are cardboard. And we're almost ready to get started seeing the more fancy version. Let me get these 2 workers in here. They did a nice job making these little containers. When you play with 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, 5 players, you need a different number of workers. So with 3 players, you add a 3-player tray. It's got a number 3 here. You add the 4 tray for a 4th player. You add the 5 tray for the 5th player. So they tried to make that very easy to do. And here, I think this one's going to have it round. This is the rectangle version of all the resources that you're going to be, or products that you're going to be making. So this is tobacco. Ooh, a coin fell in here. This is coffee. They're wooden square cubes. They call this fruit, and that's actually it's really hard to see. No, wait, this is not fruit. This is the corn, and it is hard to see because it's white on yellow. The green is the fruit, and it's a picture of bananas, so I'm guessing most people just call it bananas. And this is sugar cane. You could just call it sugar. And the money is cardboard, and you saw how I upgraded this old version to metal coins. This is supposed to come with metal coins, so we got little cardboard coins, which is sufficient to play the game. And everything in here is also ready to just take to play the game. So they tried to devise a system that's just ready to go, ready to play. Let's see if I get this back again. Okay, this, what did this come from? Ooh, the bolts. Okay. Okay, we don't need to make it too well packed, and that should have went back in here. Okay, so that's the standard. Now, ooh, this has to go back in there too. We'll compare if we need to. See if that tips over. Okay, the fun part. I didn't know if I should use a scissors or a knife. X-Acto knife, maybe. X-Acto knife might be better. I don't have a big one, but this seems to be doing okay. Oh, nice. Awaken Realms is, I've had many games from them before, and their packaging is usually nice. We'll see when we get here. Usually if I put the blade down, I'm not going to be cutting into the game. They'll have, hopefully, the same as before, like a piece of foam or something on the top to protect things. It also protects it while it's being shipped. Okay, let's see what we can do. Oy. Let's see if that's going to be good enough. Yay, it is. We're ready to roll. And correct, look at that. Piece of foam right across the top. You don't have to worry when you're opening the box. And not just a flat piece, it's indented. It's got things to protect the corners in shipping, and a special indentation for what's underneath it to keep it from sliding around in the box. So that we won't need until later. Let's see what we're gonna have. Okay, this is the art book. So what's interesting with the art books, I often get an art book for a game. They kind of show the art, maybe behind the scenes, what it stands for, where did they get their inspiration. The thing that I think we'll see when we look to see if this is doing it. Yes, this is going to show the original, as best as they could, old photos from buildings in Puerto Rico. And in the game, they make little three-dimensional buildings, and they tried to make them to match the originals. Good job. They didn't just like make an office building. They tried to match it up with what was actually there, so that will be accurate. I don't want to mix these together. How about I put it there? What are they going to give me next? Ooh. They also give you sleeves for your cards. Typically, I don't put my cards in sleeves. I think they're fine without sleeves, but that just came with it, so I got sleeves. I don't think I'll use them. There's nothing else on the sides. What in the world is this the game? We should start with this then. Okay, we're going to start with this one. Maybe this is going to go on the floor, make some room. Okay. Now, people complain about lid lift on their games, like it's just a terrible thing that the lid doesn't go all the way down. I think that's totally irrelevant to me. I don't really care. It looks like there's a little lid lift here and there. That's probably because there's things that you have to punch out maybe, and that theoretically gets compressed down when you're done doing that. We'll see. but I'm not going to be concerned if there is. Plastic is, boy, they have good plastic. What did the sticker say? No, that didn't say anything. So we can compare the two. It looks the same. We'll see. They didn't change. That's why they should have had standard edition. But if they are the same inside, they saved themselves a lot of money by having the same box. Don't have to have different productions just for the box. Okay, so here we go. The rule book we've already seen. It's supposed to be the same exact rules as the standard edition, which darn, I took some things out. I'm going to put them here. I don't want to lose those. Then these are the reference cards. I showed you flipping through them for the standard edition. It tells you about the buildings. So it'll go through the buildings. It'll tell you what their name is and how many victory points they're worth and what they cost. And that's and what like the special ability for each building is. So that's very handy. And now this, I didn't show you in the standard, but the standard is the same as this. When you play the game, you have boats, you have plantation, you have boats, and here's where you can get new plantations. They'll go here. These are the roll cards, and this is where the trading post will go. Like I told you, I had this little trading post that they made. It would go like that. And the thing with this is, I like this side. You could flip it over, and then you play the game kind of this way, with the boats up here, your cards in a long line, rather than rows. So they're giving you an option of how you'd like to play the game. This is the main board. These, I'm pretty sure, are for the automation for playing with just one player, like a solo version of the game, which I usually don't do. If I play solo, I just make believe I'm 2 or 3 people and play all of them. And these are going to be the things that you punch out. So even though it's the deluxe version, it does have things that are supposed to be punched out. So it's got building tiles to be punched out. These, I think, are for one of the expansions, maybe Festival. It's got those little boats that I showed you those. These are the roles that you can play. These are the pictures of the guys. And there'll be more in here. Would I be able to do it without making a mess? Is this going to be bad? Maybe I can do it. Got it. Okay. That's done. So here's the things where they've got for punching out. Oh, so they're giving me the cardboard tokens. Remember I said their standard edition had the cardboard. So I'm guessing everything that was in the box, I'm getting that, and I'm also going to get all of the deluxe versions of them. So we have all the same things here that you punch out. On these buildings, you have one side where it looks very nice, but if you're playing the game and you want to know what does the building do, you use this side. It's the same buildings, but with the picture, but now it's got the words that explain what the building does. After you play the game 20 times, you probably know what the buildings do. Then you can play with the fancy side. Except in our case, we're going to have even better stuff. So let's put these off to the side. I don't think I need to punch them out if I'm going to have a fancy version of them. So let's put that here. And what's nice, and some of the other game companies are starting to do this too. They have a picture of how do I put everything back in the box when I'm done playing. You'll have all the stuff on the table and you're looking and saying, like, how do I fit all this back in the box? They have a picture, they explain what they are, they show what they do, and here they say put this in on top of that, start with this, put this in the order. A lot of times the order you put it in the box is important. So they've done this, and this is also included in here. I'm guessing it's going to be identical to this one, so we probably won't be seeing anything new in here. So I won't need to open this up right now because you've seen the boards. They're going to be the same. Oh, this is not identical, so why didn't they change? No, they just kept the box cover. This is different. Remember I told you the other one, resources, was like a rectangle, and I said in here it's going to be a circle? It is. Here it is, a circle. So the resources are going around and the money in the middle. So you're still going to have the things going around, except now we can look at, let's see what they've got for the resources. The other one had those little squares, the wooden squares. What are they going to be? What are they going to be? Yeah. Okay, you can come and look at this. So these are going to be three-dimensional things instead of just a little square. And I got to see. So here we have a little basket, and inside the basket is corn. You'd have to look really close to see that there's corn inside of it. They're little corn cobs. So instead of that yellow little cube with a picture that you hardly could see, a picture of a corn, you have corn. So let's check how they compare. So this one, maybe we don't need to dump all of them out. So there are what we call bananas, but what Puerto Ricans probably call plantains. My wife is from Puerto Rico. She will tell you those are plantains. Okay, so that is one of them. And let's see if I get this out. Boy, they're packed in. Once you get them out of the bags, they should fit in these little slots very easily. Oh, I don't know if you can see. Look on the, can you see that little, it's engraved, what's that called? Embossed? A picture of a plantain banana, a picture of a sugar cane, a picture of corn cob. So, and when you're playing, you actually know where to put them, except in this case, they look like they're all the same size to me. But that's kind of nice touch into the $5 coins and the $1 coins, if they're dollars. Some people just call them money to get out of that. This is the sugar cane. So corn, plantains, bananas, sugar cane. Actually, these bags aren't that hard to open. Sometimes I can't get them open. What do we got next? What is this going to be? Coffee beans. So when you're doing coffee, this is not a mug of coffee. This is the coffee beans. They're not exporting mugs of coffee. They got the beans. And then the final one is going to be the tobacco. The original game had indigo, and they changed that. So now there's no indigo. This is leaves of tobacco. So we've got tobacco, coffee, sugarcane, plantains, corn. They refer to this as fruit. So let's get these back. Okay, so let's try not to make too big of a mess for myself later. And when you're playing the game, it looks like you won't need to keep all these little things in bags, because it's got a spot here and it has a cover to go on top to keep them from rolling around all over your box. So that's going to be really nice. And they're actually different colors. So sometimes when you get little plastic miniatures like that, they're all the same color, like they'll just make them all gray. But here, these corns are yellow and the basket is brown. So the baskets are brown, and these are the things you're going to produce on your plantations, which this new edition calls estates. Okay, so these actually are different than the standard edition, and that's here. The other thing that's coming right away, I can see something different. We're going to start seeing the buildings. They have little finger thumb holes on the sides so you can get the building out without breaking your... Ooh, we can compare. Here's the one someone made on Etsy for a trading post. This is the one that Awaken Realms is made. So there are 4 different baskets, each a different kind. When you're playing the game, we'll go to the trading house. This is someone in Etsy had their idea of it. Now you can see how Awaken Realms did it. So there's 2 of the buildings right there. Instead of a piece of cardboard for who's the first player, you have like a pen. The original game, I think, called it the Governor. And in here, there's a place to put your thumb to get it out, which it's still there, get it out. And now, this is the 3-dimensional boats. They're right in here, instead of a flat cardboard boat. And it's got spots for your goods that you're shipping. And the boats, as you play the game, will be different amounts that can be in each boat. So they have little inserts that can add more squares to the boat. Get it equal to the number that you need. That's here. I think, did we get everything? So that's this. Cool. That fits in. And the building's gonna go back. Oh no, it's gonna be one of those games you can't put the building in this way. Your building goes in this way. It's like Foundations of Rome did that. You can't turn buildings, they have to go exactly the way that they want you to put them in. Those are in, the boat's in. Let's see what's next. So now we know these are not identical to that standard edition because we've already seen the difference. And this has a cover over it as well. Now, this we don't need. The difference, this tray is empty and you have to put all the buildings in. So in the original, when I got it, I punched all the cardboard out and I had to put it into spots. So we'll see if I'm going to get acrylic, and they're going to go here, and they're numbered. This is the cost of each one as you go down, and they don't actually tell you which one goes where, so you can look online to see a picture of, I think the manual, the rule book has that too. And here's got the 2 places for the small and the large fruit stands, and then the small and the large sugar and tobacco and coffee go here. The large buildings down here. When you're playing the game, you definitely want to try to get one of those before the end of the game. You get significant amount of extra points, like the bonus, if you can have it active at the end. That way. Now, you can see we got some more things to go. And if I take one out, I want to see if there's anything underneath. And, can you see it? There's another tray underneath, which also has empty spots, which are going to be putting the tiles, which I think are going to be the acrylic tiles, so we won't need to punch anything. Now we'll see some things that are going to be different. Yes, I like it. When I go, in the old days, I don't even, does anyone still carry coins with them when they go shopping? These are metal coins. I don't know if you can hear that. They're metal. So these are the 5s, and apparently they tried to make the design on the coin matching a design of a coin from Puerto Rico. So they did their homework with that, and those are the 5s, and these are the 1s. And let's take a look at the 1s, also metal. This bag was harder. Let me just take one of them out. See if it's the same picture. Is it the same? Looks like they have the same art. It's a little bit smaller. It's a 1 and it's a different color, so you'll be able to tell the difference between by color and by size. And they're metal too. So this will be the coins that are going to go in that round resource tray. They're here, and they don't give you that many of the 5s. You're really not going to be saving up your money. You're going to be using your money as you go, so that's not an issue. So these are going to go back. And it looks like, remember I showed you the blue victory point token from the standard one, and it was made out of wood? It looks like they're the same. So they didn't change these. These are 1 victory point, and then there's also a bag with 5. Can you see the 5 on that one? So this would be a bag with 5s, these would be 1s. The back side of both is the same, you can't tell. The hexagons, and they're the same size. So the 5s and the 1s, the only way you tell the difference is by looking at the front side, the number printed on it. And it's not embossed or anything, it's just printed on. So those are the same, and it looks like this bag is the same as the bag we had before. All the tiles for from the estates are going to go in here. So this is ready for us, and I don't need that. And let's put this back. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Now, fun stuff. These are the slots where you put your victory points. They just came in a bag. They fit in here just perfectly. That's the same as in the standard edition of this. Now, instead of those little round wooden, what would you call them, markers? I don't know how you're gonna see this. Can you actually see what the worker looks like? Is it visible? They're miniatures, and looking at it, there's a fine amount of detail on it. It's not just a little guy. This guy is carrying, it looks like probably sheaves of tobacco. So this whole bag will be that kind of a worker. And my understanding is there's going to be different kinds of workers. So let's see if that's true. We're going to see some more here. Here's the tray that's called 3. So this is for when you play 3 games. This is when you play with 2 players. Everything you need is going to go right here. Your workers and your victory points here. If you add another person, you now have 3 players. You keep the 2 and you add a 3. And this is where your additional victory points will go. And here are the workers, and it does look like they're going to be different. So when you're done with the game, you'll find an easier job getting them in, because this will be the exact number that you need, 16. It says 16 on the bottom here. It tells you how many you're supposed to have, 16. So there will be 16 in here. And this looks like a lady ooh, this is cool. A lady carrying some plantains. You might call them bananas. And they're also very detailed. You can see her skirts lined. You can see the back of the skirt too as well. So they did a fine job with the miniatures. Those are for when you add a 3rd player. So now players that are putting workers out, they're going to have a little bit different workers. Let's see what's next. This one says 4. Did I put a cover? I better keep these covers together in the right spot. Keep things together right. So now if you have 4-player game, you'd start with the 2, you'd add the 3, and you'd add the 4. This would be the 4. This is where the victory points would go, which came from that other bag. And this one tells you in the bottom 21. You put 21 more workers right there. Tells you, here's the bag of them. Let's check this out. Which one they're going to look like now. Ooh. Okay. Carrying big crates. So these guys like carrying this box when I got the game. These guys are carrying the crates probably over to the trading house or to the boats. Very fine detail too on the back. They're not just like flat in the back. They have details for the people that they're. Very nice. We have one left to go. Remember, it's 5-player game, so they probably have yet another different kind of a worker for 5 players. And here it is. And it tells you on the top of each container, it says 5 right here. Here's where the victory points, little wooden tokens go. And let's see what kind of worker they got for this one. And it should be the same. And here it says 21. And this one is not, oh here. Let's see what we got. Oh, what is this person carrying? A bag. Ooh, maybe coffee beans? I don't know. Anybody work on these plantations that would know? It looks like you wrap it over your shoulder and it's a bag, and it looks like it's filled with something that's round. So it might be coffee beans. And the back is also not just the plain back. So that's what we got here. Another different one. So we have different kinds of workers. So the game, as you're looking around, people, when you take workers, you're going to be taking different ones. You don't have to always take the same kind of worker when you're playing the game. So these will be, can I put that? Let's just leave those there. I want to see what's next. What are we getting? Oh, then there's, I don't know, they were called nobles. Now they might be called citizens. It's for one of the expansions, I think expansion number 2. Because this game comes with all the expansions. The standard edition has little red circles, so they let you play the expansion too, but you had little red circles. This one, we're going to have workers again, but these are not workers, they are nobles. Ooh, pretty cool. Or citizens, depending on which edition of the game you're talking about. Also detailed a little bit like a dark rose color, and the original had red, so I suppose they decided that was going overboard to make them all totally red. So there's 2 bags of them here. So are they different? Probably. Of course they're different, right? You have to have the guys and you have to have the ladies. So that's the guys. Now we can look at the ladies. And let's see what the ladies look like. Okay, dressed nice. You're not going to go working in the plantation. So, very nice sculpting for the little miniatures to play with. And that's going to be here. So I got those, and you'll mix them together. And let's see what else we got. And as you've been watching, everything has had its own cover. You should not have things rolling around the box when you put it up on its side or whatever. So that is really nice. Oh, this is for one of the expansions called Festival. And so this deck of cards is going to be for that expansion. I'm not going to take time opening it, mainly because it could take me 5 minutes to open these card decks. I'm not good at it. So they'll go back in there, and it's got room for more things when you're playing the expansion. Yeah, it's not a square. You have to put the cover exactly right. So that makes sure you did it. Oh, and remember I told you there's going to be another tray? Here it is. Now the box is empty. One more tray. This is for the first expansion. I think some of the second expansion too. You have this in the standard edition too. You punch out the cardboard building tiles and they go here. Now this one, oh, it's got the name Puerto Rico here, so it should be like the biggest ones on the bottom. And when you're playing with this version, I hope I'm going to have acrylic tiles, so we'll be able to compare those. But I could show you one thing to make sure that everyone's aware of, that they don't mark it on here. When you're buying buildings, you can have a quarry, and the quarry will give you a discount of 1. So with 1 quarry, you can get 1 discount for any building here. So if the price says 2, it would only cost you 1. If the price down here says 7, it would cost you 6. If you have 2 quarries, you get a discount of 2. But the discount of 2 doesn't start with the top row. It starts with the second row. On my copy, I wrote, oh, you can even see how I did it. I wanted to know what I was doing. I wrote at the top here, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to remind myself how much discount I could get. The 4 means I don't get a 4 discount for 1 quarry. If I have 4 quarries, that's where I can get the discount here. 4 quarries won't help this. 3 of the quarries will, but not the 4th one. So I wrote down here, quarry discount. They did not do that. Shame on them. I did it though. And this is the same. You could see the same. So it's going to hopefully fill up with the acrylic tiles. We'll find out. There. And And is that enough? We can start looking at more boxes, right? Next, let's see what we got. Another big. It's probably keep myself from going in an ambulance. I'm going to pick this up this way. And next up, terrain. Okay, the terrain pack. And, oh, I was going to guess buildings, and there you go, in case you want to cheat. This is going to be full of three-dimensional buildings. Personally, playing the game, I don't know if I want to put the buildings on. It's going to block everything for me. These might go, in my case, my wife's from Puerto Rico, she'll take them. And they're going to be all around my house, all these buildings. And can I open this with my fingernail? Maybe not. I'm looking forward to having buildings all around my house pretty soon. Okay. Let's see what we got. It's heavy, so they're definitely not just thin, cheap plastic buildings. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, these we should get out of here. Put these back in this box. They're going to end up back there. Whoa, look at this. In case you're wondering what's in the box, they made a print of the things you're going to find in the trays. And it's looking like, what this looks like the quarries. Oh, we should make sure. What did I find? Corn will be there. This is tobacco hanging down. So then this must be the coffee, and this must be the sugar cane. Artist had to come up with something. This one's got two sides. This is one side. This is showing the building, so they're going to have two trays full of buildings. And as before, you're going to make sure that you put each building back in the right spot, because each tray is going to be just perfect, which is what you want, so they don't rattle around and break if you're moving the box around. On the bottom, it actually tells you the name of each building based on the numbers here. And so on this one, so each building's got a different number, so you can tell the names of the buildings. Why didn't they put on the bottom what each one of these were? Because when we do unboxings, they want us to say, what is that? Okay, so those we know are going to help us. Now let's take a look at them. So here's the one that we saw the picture of, and we're going to see what they look like. So I'll get my wife later to identify these. That is probably sugarcane. And there's a little circle here. Those little worker guys, you're going to put one of them there, which means you have some worker out in the fields doing the sugarcane. Could we do here in case we want to do a comparison? This one, what do we got? Coffee probably? That looks like probably coffee. So in a little spot, you put your worker. When you play the game, just having a plantation means absolutely nothing if you don't have a worker that's out there actually working it for you. So you're going to always need to put workers in. Whoa, this is cool. This looks like almost like a kind of a palm tree, but it's probably a plantain tree. You could look, I bet you that art book will have something about it. And then this looks like tobacco hanging to dry. There's that. And what do we got of corn? Is this going to be corn? Yep. Corn on the cob. I know corn on the cob. By us, we have the Sun Prairie. What is it called? Corn something. Corn Fest. So we have corn on the cob around here. So then I didn't do quarries. Quarries just gray, kind of blah, because it's just a bunch of rocks. So that's it. You still got to put a worker there in order to get the discount. These are the ones that give you the discount when you're buying buildings. So you're going to need to put workers on that. And I'm going to put everything back so I don't get them ruined. And as I'm putting them in, this is rounded just like the other one. Remember I talked about how it was rounded for the cardboard token? Now, this fits in the same spots. So instead of a cardboard token, we're going to have this one, and it has a spot for the worker. The other one just was flat, and you just put your worker circle on it someplace. This one's got a spot perfectly fit to add your worker. Ooh, we should add a worker, shouldn't we? So if we put a worker in there, let's put a worker in. Let's see. Have him facing the right way. Look at that. Oh, he fell down. You could tilt it a little bit, but it fits right in the hole. It's perfectly fit for the base of the worker. So that's the worker, and this is the field where he's working. Each field will have different things, and your workers will go. The different kinds of workers doesn't really mean anything. It's just adding variety to the game. So don't worry that one worker is doing something different than the other one. Okay, pretty cool. That is very nice and handy. What is this? This is a sugar can goes here. This one goes here. This one goes here. This one goes there. Got him. Got him. And I put the, oh, I don't want to put it together yet. So, buildings. Do they have a way for me to get it out? Yes, they do. They have a spot right here for you to pull it out. That's handy. If it was right against, flush against the side, it would be hard to get it out. So here, and as you're going to see, there's more. Oh, that one. They do, looks like they do tip a little bit when you're, well, they were being thrown around in a truck. I think if you just put it on your shelf, they're not going to have that problem. So let's take a look. Now, when you buy this, you can pay extra for what they call sun drop. I paid extra for the sun drop because I think it looks nice. So on a sun drop, can we tell a building the sun drop? A sun drop building, it's supposed to look, you can kind of see a little bit of black, dark color, and a little bit of tan. Without the sun drop, the whole building would be all exactly just one color. Sun drop is supposed to give it a little bit of fine touch that you can see the details that are there with all one color, but you don't notice them as much. Now you'll be able to see the details. So if you get yours and you just ordered the standard, that's funny, the standard deluxe, and didn't do sun drop, yours won't have that. It'll be just one color for the buildings. What do we got here? Look at that. Do they tell me what they are inside? No. Oh, I'm going to have to look at the chart and see what the buildings are. So here is a building. I don't know what it is. It might be, I won't take a guess. I'm going to look at the chart. Don't have to guess when you have the chart. So I think we don't have to pull everyone out. You'll see maybe one more. With a thatched roof. Remember, this is supposed to be 1897. In Puerto Rico, they have a lot of their roofs are specially designed because it's not like I'm in Wisconsin right now. We need a different kind of roof than they need in Puerto Rico. But okay, one more box. Let's take it out just to see. Okay, let's take a look at a big building. Ooh. Look at these. And the art book will go through with like a photo of the original building, and you'll be able to see how well they did in making it look like the photo. And from everything I've seen about these, they did an excellent job in making them very realistic to the original. And it fits in. And so there's a bunch more in here. Ooh. There's a cross on the top. I'm guessing church. I don't know what you might say. I'm guessing church. Okay. Building's done. We don't need that. Put this back. Okay. Next one back. Don't need instructions how to put these back in because the trays are all the same. They just stack on top of each other. Theoretically, you could put the buildings on top if you wanted. And here's the pictures, and this is the identification. Probably we're going to want to keep this for a while to keep track of which ones are for which buildings. Special edition terrain pack. So buildings are terrain. In case you were wondering why is a building terrain, I don't know. Let's see what else we got. Can I do it without getting up? Yep. So they did a good job between the boxes even. They didn't just stack them. They had a piece of foam between the boxes so that the boxes don't shift around. It's pieces around where the corners fit. Very nice. Awaken Realms does a good job. What do we got? Acrylic tokens or tiles. I call them tiles. It's still special edition. Remember, the standard edition also was called special edition, even though it didn't have this fancy stuff. Now, some people have said they weren't thrilled with acrylic tokens, and they prefer the cardboard. The nice thing when you have this and you got everything, if you like the cardboard, remember they gave me the cardboard too, so I have a choice. I can use either one. Maybe just the cardboard for a certain thing. And let's see what's inside. Oh, type it. And once again, interesting tray. Now you'll be able to see the difference. Oh. Yes. So there's two sides to them. One side is just what I would call a palm tree. Someone will probably correct me that it might be another kind of a tree, a plantain tree maybe. And so look at that. Now, do we have one to compare? Did I have one here I can compare with? I can compare with the standard because they gave me the same punch outs. Wonder why maybe they did that just to be nice to people. So this is the standard. Oh, there you go. Cardboard, acrylic. You can see that it's thicker. You probably can tell it's shinier. Maybe there's even glare on it. This is shinier, smoother, and thicker. And this is cardboard, and this is acrylic. So there's all here, and the gray ones are going to be the quarries. I got a quarry in here. Where are you quarries? Any quarries in here? Do you need to see a quarry? You don't really need to see a quarry, do you? Nah, you don't need to see a quarry. So the difference, let's check this out. If you put this on the board, now we'll check and see. Remember how it fit before? The acrylic one's going to go here. And now if you add on top of that the three-dimensional one, I think that might be overkill. I don't know if I would do that. Remember we had the little, well, no, those baskets, let me see. Did they give us overkill? No, I think we're okay. Unless it was, what was in here? These were the round ones. Yeah, okay, you're gonna have to decide when you play this game. Remember how this fits in here? And your worker goes here. This one, I don't think you're going to do that. You're going to choose one or the other. Now, people who bought everything are going to have both. But when people ordered this game, you could just take whatever level you want. You might not have chose these at all. You only wanted the acrylic tiles. Or you might have chose not to buy the acrylic tiles and only the terrain pack. So in that case, you wouldn't have these at all. You'd have the cardboard ones and you'd have this. In my case, I got the cardboard ones, I got the acrylic one, and I got the three-dimensional one. These, I think I'm going to play with these. This is really, really, really nice. I like that. The buildings going on top here, I'm not so sure about, but these I will use. I'll probably use, let's find the acrylics for that. I'll keep going for that. Just going here. Where did this come from there? And this came from, let's just keep it out there. I'm gonna get this all mixed up. I'll sort it out later. So quarries, that, and let's look at these. Okay, this is the cardboard. We have cardboard tiles for the roles that you play. When it's your turn, you can choose to be a craftsman. You can choose to be a planter. Is it the same on both sides? Yeah, but these are not cardboard. These are acrylic. So we got that. It's going to be very handy with those. And the smuggler is an expansion. It's got a little smuggler one and a tile for the smuggler. And the prospector in the old version is now called adventurer, and they're in here too. So this one is ready to cover up. I've got to keep this together. I don't want to mix my games together. Holy, that would be really bad. So now you can see that some of them shifted around during shipping as it's thrown around in the truck, but it looks like most of them are just fine. This one, ooh, looks like a little bit more shifting than that one. So this one is ready. Oh, we'd have to match them up. But I think the rest of it is good. So now these are also, there's a spot to pick it up with so you don't try to get your fingernail under. And these are not cardboard. So this will go on the buildings here instead of cardboard, like that. And you can see how that fits just fine. It's got little, the corners are like not rounded, but inverse rounded. The rounded part is here, and these fit right in, and they don't fall out. And so now the way this is designed, if you have those buildings which we looked at, you'd put this down and you put the real building on top of it. In my opinion, which is just me, you're blocking everything with all these buildings, and you might not even be able to read what's here. If you're playing with this version, you don't have the words anyway. But that's just me. People are going to be using the game since they bought it. They can use it however they want. Okay, let's see. Can I put the cover back? And this one is the last one. So this is the last one, and some of these shifted all over. I'm not going to spend the time sorting them out for you, but there's a spot for each of the buildings. These are the expansion buildings. These are the standard game buildings. So if you don't want to play with expansions, all you need is this. Let's put this back. Put these back in so I don't lose things. Quarry back. I'm going to have to remember my corn has to go back too. Okay, that's the acrylic tokens. Okay. Now, when you're playing games with cards, a playmat is really handy to have because when you try to pick a card up off of a wooden table or a flat cardboard layer board, sometimes it's hard to get the card to come up. On a neoprene mat, which remember, bolts on the top on this side, bolts on the side on this side. So it's the same as the cardboard one, which I'm holding upside down, like that. Better if you see it right side up. But now, this, if you're putting cards here, they'll be real easy to pick up. But in this game, I'm not sure that it's absolutely necessary for that. But it does have a nice smooth look to it. It looks a little bit, does it look a little bit more faded than the original? I don't know. We'd have to see. But that rolls up, and there's this. You'll have to find a way to store this because I'm not sure it's going to fit in the box. people online were talking about how do I fit everything in the box because they got all this stuff. So now I've got this, and somehow I will want to fit it into one of these boxes. Let's see. Oh, they put it on the bottom, or maybe I opened it upside down. Maybe I opened the bottom of the box. I bet you I did, because here's the letter that they say, "Hi, thank you for getting something for us." And this is the letter inside where they say, "Thank you for supporting us." I should have opened it from the other side, and you would have got to see this at the beginning. So this is the Awaken Realms. And it's got notes, which is handy. It's telling you if you received this, which I'd have to look, and one of the pieces was broken, like one of your boats is broken, they tell you who to contact and what the procedure is to get a replacement for it. So that's the thank you for supporting us letter. And I can't even reach it. This box is too big. Can I reach way over here? Is there something under here? No. Under here? Oh, there might be underneath there more. Remember the sleeves I told you about? More sleeves for cards that I'm probably not going to use. This is probably for the San Juan card game, which is the original's over there, and I've got a box in here. So we will look at the San Juan card game too, which is here. This is the San Juan card game. So when you buy Puerto Rico, the big version like I have here, it's actually giving you 2 games. This is a separate game. This is not meant to be mixed in with the other game. It's a completely separate game on its own. And here's how they put the foam to keep everything from shifting around while it's being thrown around on the truck. And nope, that's it. A piece of foam on the top and the bottom, and I just opened the bottom, so we saw things in backwards order. But we could see the card game. Will it open with my fingernail? Yes. So, San Juan Special Edition, and we will compare. Here's the original San Juan card game, Special Edition card game. They have their rule book. Whoa. And of course, I make things fancy in my games. I went and laminated some of the score pad. It's like a score pad they give you. And if you just use this, pretty soon you run out. If you do this, you get to just use dry erase markers and use it over and over and over. And so here will be the cards, 2 stacks of cards, and this is the original, how they did different values for the different goods. And they, just like the Puerto Rico game, you've got different cards for who you're going to be. As long as you remember, don't mix this together with the Puerto Rico game. It's a different game. So this we're going to keep over here. Now, this is the way Awaken Realms did it. Their own rule book compared to that rule book. Okay, so lots of words, not too many drawings. To be honest, I can't remember. I played it like maybe 10 years ago. I don't really remember. So just like before, there's 2 decks of cards here. There's 2 decks of cards here. They look like more cards. Or, I don't know. This is the San Juan card game. Now, this game, original, had a way to change the values of the different things. Indigo, sugarcane, tobacco, coffee. What else? I'm missing one? What there should be, oh, corn. Okay, so this might not be part of this game. Now, I'm not familiar with the San Juan game, so that one I will have to pass on. And the original one had a pencil for your score pad. It had a place that you put these here. It had a place, they had a nice insert on that decades old game where everything fit just nice. And that was the San Juan card game. This one, the insert is cards and a rule book, and it's very wasted space, in my opinion. There's nothing that I can see that will ever go here. So it's thicker than need to be. A rule book goes in. Ooh, cover it up, because once the cards are taken out, you don't want them sliding around. Put the rule book on top. And I think that's it. That's been a look at the original Puerto Rico, original San Juan, which is another game that you're getting both of them with this all-in version with everything. It's called the Grande version of the game. We saw the standard edition, which was like, I can't remember, like maybe $60. This one was hundreds of dollars. So you pay, you're paying them to make all these miniatures and the little buildings and everything. But if you'd like a very fun experience, I think that will be worthwhile. It's up to you which one you choose, and if you've already chosen and you got it, or it's coming, some people haven't received theirs yet. This is what it looks like, and I'm Len Lindsay, and this is my take on Puerto Rico, 1897.